It wasn't long ago that Trump, despite infamously avoiding military service when his number came up during Vietnam, declared he'd make a fantastic general. His embattled defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, when he's not spending his time pumping out push-up sets for the media and using the term lethality as a noun, verb, and adjective in the same sentence, stressed the physical and mental toughness required in his new War Department. Well, anyway, the two guys who desperately want to project strength came across as very weak yesterday. It takes a scorecard to keep up with a changing version of events from Pete when it comes to that second strike of a disabled boat that apparently killed two men hanging on to the side of a burning life raft. First, his agency called the Washington Post story baseless, terming it fake news. Then, after acknowledging it occurred, he denied he ever gave the order to kill everyone on board. Then, he went on Fox News and took credit for what happened.
I watched it live. We knew exactly who was in that boat. We knew exactly what they were doing, and we knew exactly who they represented. And that was Tren de Aragua, a narco-terrorist organization designated by the United States, trying to poison our country with illicit drugs.
Well, when the details of those attacks were confirmed by multiple sources, tough guy Pete suddenly said the buck didn't stop with him. In fact, he had to attend to other pressing matters before the second strike all of a sudden, and it was the Navy Admiral Frank Bradley's call, not his.
So I said, I'm going to be the one to make the call after getting all the information and make sure it's the right strike. That was September 2nd. There's a lot of intelligence that goes into that, building that case and understanding that, a lot of people providing information. I watched that first strike live. As you can imagine, at the Department of War, we got a lot of things to do. So I didn't stick around for the hour and 2 hours, whatever, where all the sensitive site exploitation digitally occurs. So I moved on to my next meeting. A couple of hours later, I learned that that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do, and by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat. He sunk the boat, and eliminated the threat. And it was the right call. We have his back.
How so very soft. The secretary loves to mug for the camera in shirts 2 sizes too small and talk about how the military under his command would be defined by its fierceness and loyalty. He loves to talk about how many ships he authorized to be vaporized and how many of their occupants he authorized killed. Well, it seems that when the consequences of these latest attacks may reach the standards of war crimes and even murder, his profile and courage equates to selling out the commander who followed his orders. Congressman Ted Lieu from California, a veteran himself and a member of the Judiciary Committee, he put it this way.
And now I have a message for the members of the United States military. Thank you for your service to our great nation. And for those of us who served, we know that we all followed a code of conduct. And part of that code of conduct is to not lie and to accept responsibility. Unfortunately, the head of the Department of Defense, Secretary Hegseth, engaged in dishonorable conduct. He stated on national TV, quote, "I watched it live. We knew exactly who was in that boat." And instead of accepting responsibility for what happened, Hegseth chose to throw Admiral Bradley under the bus. Shame on Pete Hegseth. He is a coward. He must resign. You deserve better.
The congressman's right, of course, and the troops and their commanders know it, and they deserve far better than him.